To me, it look like a leprechaun to me. All you gotta do is look up in the tree. Who else seen the leprechaun? Say yeah!
I wanna know where to go. I wanna know where to go.
Give me the go.
I wanna know where to go. I wanna know where to go.
Give me the go.
I wanna know where to go. I wanna know where to go.
Give me the go.
I wanna know where to go. I wanna know where to go.
Give me the go. I want to go. I want to go. I want to go. Give me the go. I want to 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 go. Give me the go. I want to go. I want to go. I want to go. Leprechaun.
I wanna know where to go. I wanna know where to go.
Give me the go.
I wanna know where to go. I wanna know where to go.
Give me the go.
Give me the go. Give me the go.
What's up, everyone? Can you hear me? Is everything going all right? This is like a test stream right now. But look at that short intro, no long intro like everyone else is doing. Just short to the point. Let's get started. I saw clips of this when I was coming home from the movies earlier. There's some good things I wanted to say about it. Oh no, I'm a betrayer. I love the Rippaverse. Oh, he's a fraud. No, I've stated before that there was elements of the Rippaverse that I like. But there's still a lot of other stuff that was just really weird. That went on in this video, like limited series versus ongoing. Why the hell is Eric still doing this in the warehouse? Yada yada. So I just wanted to use this as a test stream to see how like the stream would go, because I'm doing the Sturgis. Oh dear God, I'm watching all the videos that I can of Sturgis tomorrow, and I need the mentally prepare. So I'm gonna try to not kill myself tonight watching the Rippaveal. But I already watched it when I was coming home. Like I said, there's some interesting stuff that was announced, but you'll see when we go through it. All right, let's see. How do I work this since this is new to me? All right, there we go. It's funny how he's trying to put like this big Nintendo Direct style reveal showcase. It's just not original.
What's up, Rippaverse family? I'm Eric July, the founder and owner of Rippaverse Comics, and welcome to our first.
All right, I'm going to stop it right here. First of all, I just realized this. Eric's is in different clothing throughout this entire video. But more importantly, why is he filming this in the goddamn warehouse again? Like all he did was just dim the lights, put some LED, put some like light bars to the side, and he made some like atmospheric thing for the video. Like I don't understand this. Stop filming this in your warehouse, because you have boxes of unfulfilled books that are just never going to sell, and it just looks embarrassing.
Ever Rippaveal showcase. These are showcases that we'll do as frequently as needed, and they'll show off future Rippaverse content, and you get to hear insight from our creative teams. Before we get started, I have to thank all of the fans out there for making this venture such a successful one. I started the Rippaverse in 2022, and by the end of 2024, we've sold over 210,000 books and made over $10 million in total sales. As a completely independent publisher, this is insane, and that's all thanks to the fans. Now we're catching up to our demand, and our release schedule will accommodate this. You've decided that the Rippaverse is your go-to form of entertainment.
When did anyone decide this? Like, when was the Rippaverse our go-to form of entertainment? Like, I feel like he's just listened to the echo chamber that his workers are telling him. Yeah, man, you know what's a great idea? How about you just do a Nintendo Direct style thing and just announce all the Rippaverse books coming out next year? Yeah, that's great. Yeah, great. It's great. Yeah. Oh yeah, and people love the Rippaverse. So like it's their go-to destination. So yeah. And let's go to the Rippaverse. It's the best place. No other comics exist. Come on, Eric, stop it.
And we should be producing as such. Now, previously, we released graphic novel-sized books with a lot of time in between releases. Pre-order window.
Graphic novel-sized books. Yes, you release graphic novels. It's funny how your company is called the Rippaverse Comics, but you haven't produced a single comic unless you want to count the Ripazines as like comics. How about you stop producing graphic novels or just call yourself the Rippaverse graphic novel company?
Those now will be shortened whenever possible, and some books will not be a part of the collection format at all. And because we have a universe to flesh out, initially the books were often number ones and based on new characters. Now in 2025, that's going to be much different. Sure, we have some new characters and titles that we want to show off, but this upcoming year, you're going to see a lot of follow-ups to previous stories. Now that you've met several characters, it's time that we continue with their adventures. That'll help this feel like a living and breathing universe. In order to get multiple issues out for multiple titles, we're going to shorten the page count of some issues. Now, they'll still be much bigger than the traditional floppies, but this will now lower the cost of entry while not having you wait so long between issues.
Eric, here's a brilliant idea. Let me know if you've let me run this by you. Instead of lowering the page count for graphic novels, how about, and call me crazy, you make this thing called a monthly comic book floppy that's 22 pages of story, and you give it like, I don't know, 4 or 5 issues each. And then you compile it after the end of whatever story arc those issues make into what's called a trade paperback. Nah, that's too complicated. We're just gonna like sell you a graphic novel that's like 50 pages, but not call it a comic book. Okay, sure.
It's going to be a very productive year, so we'll start with some things that you may already be aware of. Let's take another look at the Rippaverse Trinity.
In 2022, the Rippaverse launched with Item #1, written by company founder Eric July, illustrated by Cliff Richards. The book eventually would become a $3.7 million success. The following year, comic book veterans Chuck Dixon and Joe Bennett would join the team and create a $1 million success of their own with Alpha Core #1. And it
Hey Eric, how much did Alpha Core sell? Because it's funny how like ISOM has a 3.7 million number to it, but you didn't bother to put Alpha Core. Why is that? Because it's like such an embarrassing low number compared to the to ISOM.
In 2024, the highly anticipated Yaira by the Saska sisters and Deborah Carita became the third Rippaverse property to make $1 million in total sales. Isom, Alpha Core, and Yaira have cemented their place as mainstays for this fast-growing indie publisher. Now you can grab our first ever collected works, the Rippaverse Trinity Volume 1. This 300-plus page book features Isom #1, Alpha Core #1, and Yaira #1. And Isom has been officially remastered with updated.
All right, so there's the new updated colors and artwork.
Art from Cliff and colors from the new series colorist, Sebastian Chang. Also, all 3 books have.
I mean, I guess so. Like selling 10 million, I guess, gives them the right to say that.
Upgraded letters, so you're getting more than just a mere reprint. Head over to Rippaverse.com and order the.
Poor Gabe Al-Taib. It's just upgraded leathers. Poor Eric Weathers. Poor Gabe for the colors. Now the colors are better and upgraded. But he wasn't fired or anything. They're just amicable separation.
Rippaverse Trinity Volume 1. Available as both a trade paperback and hardcover.
We know that many of you love the collected work, so I'm really excited for you to get the first volume of the Rippaverse Trinity. The remastered art of Cliff Richards looks great, and it's also our first ever oversized hardcover. It's up for pre-order.
Yeah, like it does look. I mean, I saw earlier, I saw later on in it. I don't know if it was artwork from ISOM 3, but it looked different. So yeah, I mean, Trinity looks upgraded. But if he's gonna do it for Isom, why didn't he just do it for Alpha Core and Yaira as well to have everything match
Right
up?
now,
I feel like he
go
wanted
reserve
everything
your
to
copy.
match up.
But moving on,
as a
not too
consistent,
long
like,
ago, we announced our first Cosmic Hero, an original conception of both Chuck Dixon and Joe Bennett. It looks like many of you are very excited.
Look at my big ass nose. I'm an alien with a big ass nose. I'm just uninterested in this title. It just has it has like a silly subtext title for it. What kills must die. It's just grammatically incorrect. See, the thing is, like, I know for a fact, like Ishmael, I know for a fact he's going to do the Isom omnibus trilogy. I know he's going to do it. Just like I know, like it's going to happen. So like I don't know if I even want to bother with the Trinity one, other than the fact that like it's an oversized hardcover, and I would like to see how everything looks going forward. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I still got until early January to pre-order it.
Hey, this is Chuck Dixon. I got a new project coming out called Zaylen. It's a brand new character I have like co-created.
Hey, it's Glenn Beck. I mean, it's that other guy that looks like Glenn Black. Oh yeah, his name is Chuck Dixon. That's what he just said it. Yeah, it's Chuck Dixon. Or maybe it's Glenn Beck. Although, Chuck, you've been hanging out with Eric July a little too much, because this it's looking pretty apish right here. This shoulder hair. Like we living in the jungle or something. Better handle that.
Created it with Joe Bennett. We cooked it up in our sick little minds. He's a space-going, space-faring, cosmic warrior. And he's going to play a major part in events coming up in the Rippaverse very soon. And I think you're going to really...
Jesus Christ. Like, I was joking before, but like, geez. Maybe the Clipperverse needs to come after Chuck Dixon instead of Eric July's shoulder hair.
Like this guy.
Hey folks, I'm Mike Barron. I've been writing comic books all my life. I started out with my own creations, Nexus and Badger, and I'm happy to say that both those characters are alive today. Nexus is probably the most honored independent superhero comic of all time. From there, I went on to write many other titles for many other publishers. But I've always been drawn to fringe characters. And when Eric July asked me to write Gooding, I jumped at the chance. Gooding is the type of character I might have thought up myself, a self-made millionaire, a genius, an autodidact, and a polymath. Polymath is a master of many disciplines. Now, you may have read the first Gooding, I hope so, and they say that a writer should write what he knows, but it's also the writer's job to imagine every point of view. So the writer has to put his head in whatever character he attempts to make real, or otherwise he'll fail. Believe it or not, Gooding's trick against Ron Hodges in high school comes from personal experience. I had read Alpha Core and some of the other offerings that the Rippaverse has since produced, and I was determined to open the scene up, and that's why Gooding #1 is much bigger than Gooding in the origin and deals with matters of life and death, as most of these books do, and also with international disputes. But I was thinking of Alpha Core, and I realized that for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction, and that the existence of Alpha Core, a number of superheroes dedicated to good in Fluorspark, required the rise of another organization. And that's where Delta Base came from.
Oh, okay. I didn't understand like what Delta Base was, because I saw it at the end of the newsletter that they just announced, and I just didn't understand what it was. But I again, like, this is like me like really paying attention to what Mike was saying. Although I don't understand what Mike meant about the first Gooding. Like, I don't think they're doing another one. And even still, Gooden was just short. Like, the problem with Gooden is that it's not a terrible book. It's too short and it's just silly. Like, Ron Hodges, his high school bully, becomes like his arch nemesis with like the silliest supervillain names, Splatterpuss. Horrible. All right, well, how come they didn't mention anything else about Delta Base? It's just, here's a concept, nothing about it.
All right, guys, let's get to the rest of the showcase. We have a bunch of announcement trailers lined up for you today.
I miss you. I miss you so damn much. Things weren't supposed to be this way. You should still be here, next to me. My brothers, my mother. If only I could turn back the clock, or...
This one woman looks familiar. I don't remember her name, but she's like in she has done a lot of cameos in like video games. I don't remember her name. Deborah something. But you've seen her. Like she was in the she was Amanda Waller in that Suicide Squad video game. And she was in that Star Wars Jedi Survivor as well. I don't remember what her character name was. But I feel like she looks like her right here.
Find some magic to bring you back.
Oh, it could be.
Tells me I should not interfere with the nature of things, but she broke the rules with grandfather. This is a price I'm willing to pay the coin for. There must be a way. She says it is forbidden magic. I wouldn't hope to accomplish this feat with...
Oh, look at my face. I'm shocked. Shocked that I have a sequel book coming out.
Out having one of the world's greatest magicians to assist. Well, Nana, I just so happen to have one of those. And he owes me big time. Their souls are on the other side. Can I hope to traverse oblivion to be with them again? My family. What I wouldn't give for you to be beside me like you used to.
All right, I'm going to say something. This doesn't look good. Like this right here with her face, this doesn't look good. And this reminds me of Greg Land. Like just like the pose and like the shocked face, like, oh, like this. That's what it reminds me. It reminds me of like generic store Greg Land right here. Whoever did the cover for this looks really cool. Like, there's no way Kanan White did that cover. Yeah, I don't think it's Mike. I don't think Michael drew the cover. Like, whoever did this cover is really good. But it's funny. Like, I don't understand why did they announce? I mean, obviously it's coming out 2025, but like the first one hasn't come out. So have they already revealed too much about the first book by showing the trailer for the second one? And controversial, because I've said this online before, even though I know like it's a cope, I feel like this is going to play to the Sasuke's strength, like a horror book. So I feel like Bloodroof is going to be like their best book, just from like the content, how it's written. But that's copium. That's like I'm coping hard to think like they're going to write something that's better than what they've written before in the past.
I don't like talking about it. But we should talk about it more as a nation. It was an already fractured territory. Texas today is not Texas of yesteryear. What seemed like a usual international conflict changed the lives of everybody. especially me.
Yeah, this book I'm actually excited for, but I was excited up until I found out that Chuck Dixon's writing this. I could have sworn Mike Barron was the one that was writing the 2-part for it. But either way, like The Great War has probably been the only book that I've wanted out of the Rippaverse for like so long, because I want everything. I want everything just to make sense. Like all I want out of the Rippaverse is just for the books to be good and for it to make sense. That's always been my main concern about the Rippaverse. But everyone wants to think like I'm a big like Rippaverse detractor when I've explained that there's elements of the Rippaverse that I like. Like I do like elements of the Rippaverse. I just wish the books were better. And I'm hoping from like the promises they're talking about with this book that the 2-part that they're going to explain everything, where Epsets come from, the Great War, blah, blah, blah. I'm just hoping like it makes sense and it's good. But I'm not pleased with the fact that Chuck is writing this, because I could have sworn, like I said, pretty much said that Mike was the one writing this. And now that Chuck's writing it, I don't know. I'm nervous.
There's an upcoming project, The Great War of Separation. This is a major event in the Rippaverse universe. It's written by me, drawn by Jack Herbert. It looks astounding. The artwork looks astounding. But the thing you need to know as a Rippaverse fan is the story takes place decades ago and explains how Texas became an...
Don't mess with Texas. Yeah, the arts look really cool right here. A fake Iron Man looking person. It's probably Solari in like his prototype outfit. This is clearly Avery and his sister. I don't know who this random black guy is. Al Simmons, maybe. I don't know.
Independent state from the rest of the
I
United
like
States.
Chuck too, but
And
like after Horseman, I really have to evaluate why I actually like Chuck's writing. I'm going to be honest. I'm under illusion that I must have really liked Chuck's writing after that, because it's not good. Like he's had characters he's written that were under brands like Batman or the Punisher that had editors that kind of reined them in. But with like the Rippaverse, it's just like any old stupid idea and just throw it to the wall and see if it sticks. And it's showing like he's not really as talented and as legendary, quote unquote, as people like to give him.
How a lot of the characters that you already love in these stories came to be. How they got their powers.
Yeah, Horseman's not bad. No. It doesn't. It's not terrible. It's just stupid. Like it just makes your brain hurt, because like the character is just so incompetent as a vigilante.
You know what makes them accepts and what isn't accept, and a lot of this is explained in The Great War of Separation, coming soon from me and artist Jack Herbert. This is a great big honkin' origin story that you're going to need to read.
I'd already looked it over. I have a lead, but I like to look my clients in the eyes. William Scotcher, Chief Operations Officer of Fritford Trucking. They are being targeted. Tens of millions of dollars worth of goods have been intercepted. They only deal with high-value loads, and this has to lower trust with the other companies. The inventory is all over the place. Either they're targeting Fritford, or they're just opportunistic vandals. It must be the former. They're too bold. So, who has the most to gain? A competitor. Very few companies handle luxury goods. It just so happens that Flores Park Logistics had to downsize a few years ago. The first time ever. Why don't we pay them a visit?
All right, this is my problem right here. If somebody was speaking in Eric's ear and said, guess what? People really love salvage and they want you to write this book. No, Eric, no one cared about this, but you're in an echo chamber. So you allowed the people to just tell you, you allowed like the 1 or 2 people on your message board to tell you, yeah, this book was great, write it. Well, here's the problem right now. Where's the PI in the title? So it's just salvage, subtext, lethal force. Where's Salvage PI at? And all you really had to do was just make this a single issue. You wrote 13 pages of what could have been a single 22 issue comic. But instead, you allowed somebody on your team to tell you, yeah, you can make a graphic novel that people will buy it. It's fine. But here's something interesting about this right here. Like something I think it's going to come up later on. There's no indication whatsoever if this is a limited series or an ongoing series.
Man, issue number 1 of.
Hey Eric, what happened to the sweatshirt? And why do you have like a stack of boxes as your background right here? You don't got like some posters or a stanchion with like your Rippaverse characters that you can have behind you? So what's going on here? What is this? What is this? What is all this under your neck too? What are these spots here too? Like, trim this beard up, my guy. And don't wear these stupid shorts. Like, come on. It's wintertime. Why are you wearing shorts?
Of the Ripazine was something else, because we didn't know how well the Ripazines were going to do. It was one of those things that we wanted to find a place to really test the market out for some characters instead of committing to these long form books. And you never know, you put something out just because you've been successful in the past does not mean that people are going to want this new character. So when we released it first, it was we all were a little antsy, because you never know with those types of things. I am a nerd for a lot of old detective stuff, crime noir things, and it was fun to write.
Jesus Christ, man. Like, look how unkempt this is from the back. Like, look at this. Look at this patch area, and then just, oh, God. Eric, how does your wife look at you?
Salvage, because people got to see that kind of side of me. It is a completely different story in comparison to something like Isom, for example. They're two completely different characters altogether, and the general style or genre that they fit in is completely different. So people kind of got to see through these private investigator stories that side of me. We put it out and we saw the reception. We even had some polls go out, really getting some audience feedback, and almost unanimously, people wanted more Salvage altogether. So
I disagree strongly.
Oh, I immediately got to work writing some ideas to really finish up on the initial story that was being told by myself and, of course, the legendary Bart Sears. And, of course, I reached back out to him, and he said he was in to do a more longer form graphic novel to really finish out this story that we started off in that first issue of the Ripazine with Salvage. When you have a city like Flores Park and it has the police officers, even a Alpha Corps that is also attached to the police, how do private investigators fit in? That was something that we had to really try to figure out. And I wanted to make them special, not just any sort of private investigator. And this is how we came up with.
Yeah, I wanted private investigators to be like something unique and special in this world, because like they've never existed in the real life before with cops and whatnot next to them, like detective and private eyes. No, that's not real in our real world. So we needed to make them special in the Rippaverse. So like, here, peep this. So like, they're gonna have guns and they're gonna be able to kill people. They're gonna have guns and gonna be able to kill people.
With the whole LF certification as Salvage Lethal Force, which is what this upcoming graphic novel is going to be. That's what that LF stands for. And it's a special certification that only few people in Flores Park even have, Salvage being one of them. So it was our way to really kind of not just make it special to him, but also get the mind jogging as, okay, so you have this private investigator in Flores Park with this special certification. What about the others? So, Salvage is sort of investigating this crime or these repeated crimes that have been committed against a trucking company, and certainly being
trucking company crimes, repeated crimes against this trucking company.
where I'm from, it was something that it was a story that I had kicking around in my head. I know a lot of truckers in real life, a lot of my family members, and it sort of influenced me to kind of write this story here. And I can't wait for people to kind of find out what's really, really going on. If you read the first Rippaveal, you saw the way that that thing ended, and you're like, who in the world is that guy that he's going to be faced up against? Well, of course.
Set your expectations low and prepare to be disappointed.
Of course, you will be learning about that in Salvage Lethal Force. I didn't know initially, as I was creating the character, if I wanted to give him like a superpower, because I really wanted him to be like this character that people could easily relate to. And that's not to say that characters with powers folks can't relate to. They obviously can. But I wanted him to be a person that people could find really, really believable. So we attached this superpower, if you will,
quote unquote superpower. Like, what is it, Eric? He has an actual superpower. So it's not quote unquote, it's not a fake power. He has an actual superpower that you gave him.
Which he has this abnormal hearing. And you can imagine, certainly as a detective, when he goes around snooping around as an investigator, well, that can be a very, very useful thing. And that's why I explain the powers. And we read up on this next story, you're going to really get it. I felt like we did it in a creative way. It's not just a guy with super hearing by any means, but you saw a little bit of that play out. And I'm really, 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 really excited for you guys to read the upcoming Salvage Lethal Force book by myself and the legendary Bart Sears.
Eric, he's a guy with super hearing, for Christ's sake.
Another nightmare. Every night I'm forced to watch my...
All right, pause. What happened to that accent that they had for Yaira? Like, who is this? Who's this new voice actress?
family die.
What happened to the breath blow?
Every night I'm treated to a symphony of horrors. No matter how hard I try, I fail. They call out to me to save them, but I'm helpless. Ever since I executed you, old friend, you've sent me ethereal messages that the mighty black sorcerer cannot be so easily defeated. Is this some spell you cast before I delivered your death blow? Could you have somehow survived and patiently wait till I'm at my weakest to strike? Until you have succeeded in driving me insane. Could there be truth to my visions?
What was up with that woman's hand? Nah, I don't want to go back. It just looked weird.
Are you all still alive somewhere? Lurking in the darkness?
Yeah, they shouldn't have changed the voice. It just sounds weird. Like she sounds like an old woman instead of like whatever foreign country that they were trying to go for from the live action trailer. You know what's interesting about this? So this book is late. This book was supposed to come out 2024. Wait a minute. Hold up. Did the artist actually draw the freaking areolas bumping out of her suit? There's no way. I have to look. I have to take a look at it. There's no way. This person was horny. All right, but anyway, so yeah, this book is late. This book was actually supposed to come out 2024. So I think the early 2025 that they're saying it's probably going to come out, my theory, February. I think it's going to come out. I think it's going to launch February. It's going to probably come out March.
Hi, I'm Sylvia. And I'm Jen. Hi. And we are the lore masters, editors, and writers at the Rippaverse. We are also horror directors and the Twisted Twins. Since we already spoiled it, we are writing Yaira 2. Yaira 2 is happening. Thank you for the success of Yaira 1. Thank you very much. And what happens to Yaira in Yaira 2? Well, she got in a little bit of a mess in the first Yaira, and there are going to be repercussions. Yeah, since continuity is kind of a big deal in our universe, anything that Yaira messed up, she's going to have to clean up.
Continuity is a big deal, right? Okay. I hope you guys clean the continuity up because none of it makes sense right now.
And number 2. And if you thought we were rough on Yaira and Yaira 1, wait for Yaira 2. We do not go easy on the Ice Queen this time. Yaira has all new villains. Yeah. She has some new allies. And let's just say we saw some requests online for what you guys wanted her wearing, and Dec'24 was more than happy to oblige.
We must assess the situation. Alerting the others is not required. I would not suggest such a thing, as it would send this realm into chaos.
Oh, that looks pretty cool. I mean, that panel right here. Like the outfit looks cool.
I do suppose if they are here, our run will assist us in nailing down their exact whereabouts. It has been a very long time since we've had a reason to get involved in the affairs of Earth. If it is time, they will soon find out. Our lyrics are not make-believe!
This is his masterpiece, his magnum opus. Eric's writing it. Oh, okay. Ronaldson. He's one of the other better artists for the Rippaverse they got. Glorious Death. Okay. Cover looks okay. But this is supposed to be like his big book. Like everyone wants the Norfolk Cup. But you guess what, guys? Limited series. The biggest fan requested series is a limited series. A graphic novel being a limited series. And they'll find out that their music isn't just music. Well, I got a song that I really like. Let me play it for you guys.
Hey, jigger-boo, nigger-boo, colored coonie,
Black porch monkey, brown baboony,
melon muncher, chicken bone sucker,
blue, black, silverback, big spear chucker. Any way you figure, the president's a nigger to me. That's good. Let me take this
Sing
one.
it, Ruckus.
Charcoal, brown bread, jungle bunny,
Ghetto guru, government honey,
chocolate cricket, spooky niglet,
Cocoa negro,
magpie, black crow. Any way you figure, the president's a nigger to me. Lord, I can sing nigger all day long.
Yeah, I don't think Norfolk has got anything on those two. Wait a minute. He's wearing sandals.
So I introduced Norfolk in ISOM #1. And since then, like every comment in any video that we do, it's when's Norfolk coming? When are they going to show up? And that's awesome because they were some of the first few characters that I actually created before you guys had ever even heard about the Rippaverse. And they have a very specific purpose within the Rippaverse. Again, if you read the end of ISOM #1, they're not just there at random. You know, they're in this touring band, and you're left to think, why did this touring band have these gods or godlike beings that are a part of it? Takari and Valadan, they have a very, very specific like purpose, right? And not just that, we've left nuggets along the way. If you've read any really of the stories within the
Eric, there has been no nuggets whatsoever about Norfolk in any of these other books other than ISOM #1. Now, I'm sure some Rippaverse fan can prove me wrong on this one, but there has been nothing whatsoever. Maybe in Yaira. But we have no idea who the hell Norfolk is or why they're here outside of those stupid Dokemon cards. So yes, they do randomly appear at the very end of one book.
In the Rippaverse. And so we knew that we needed to come out swinging when we did eventually end up giving them either in a limited series or this sort of ongoing, because again, like I said, they do have a specific purpose. They just weren't random characters that we threw in. We have certain elements of the story that we're telling that they absolutely need to fulfill, but the demand is there, so we got to kind of keep things going. It's no secret that I'm a metal guy. I'm in a metal band, been in several others before, backwards the one that I am in right now. So this is obviously something that's near and dear to me. One of the easier stories for me to tell. And, you know, we're tapping into some history, some mythologies, different things, but a touring band, I've been there and sort of done that. So as you guys start to hear at least that aspect of the story, so you're talking about the present day or current day Rippaverse, it's going to be a fun one. Because there's some lessons that I've learned along the way, some experience, things that I've seen with my own eyes that we're going to be able to entertain and really bring to you if you have not ever been in a metal band or a touring band or anything like that. But yeah, because we left those little nuggets in some of the previous stories that we've told within the Rippaverse and even some of the ones in the future, there's going to be a massive payoff. Now, I can't tell you guys what exactly that's going to be, but just know that Norfolk plays a very vital role within our universe. I first started working with Ronaldson, who will be the artist for Norfolk Glorious Death, this limited series, with like Horsemen, and there's some other covers that he's done along the way. And guy is one.
Yeah, this looks cool. Like, this monster looks really cool right here. Like, I like the design. I like how the face is getting squished when he's in punch. It's fine. It's not a bad design. I don't understand about fake Conan right here or fake Thor or whatever, but I like whoever this guy is design. Although not really a fan of the whole sandals look, but to each their own.
Heck of an artist. And as soon as I got to working with him, I was like, man, we got to get you on some sequential work. And he was hungry for that. That's what he wanted. And I can't wait for people to see him be able to tell some of these stories as well, because, you know, they're taking place in different areas. Let's just say that. And because they're taking place in these different areas, you needed someone that could really is really detailed with their backgrounds, things of that nature. And he really, really, really does a very phenomenal job at that. So yeah, there's lots and lots of story to tell with Norfolk. And finally, we get to tell some of those stories in Norfolk Glorious Death by myself and Ronaldson. Can't wait for you guys to read it this upcoming year, 2025.
Wait, hold
Someone
up.
that can really,
I noticed something.
really
I want to see
detail with their backgrounds, things of that nature. And he really, really, really does a very phenomenal job at that. So yeah, there's lots and lots of story to tell.
What the fuck is going on here? Like, why is this person running into the damn truck? Like, what is this?
With Norfolk. And finally, we get to tell some of those stories in Norfolk Glorious Death by myself and Ronaldson. Can't wait for you guys to read it this upcoming year, 2025.
Guys, I got news. I'm finally leaving Sylvia. No, it's happened. It's overdue. Honestly, we're going our own ways.
It's true. We had a lot of you guys ask, who wrote Maureen Yaira? Who wrote which part? And we're like, well, I guess the audience doesn't really know our writing style.
Well, obviously, the good parts of Yaira that you liked, I wrote. We'll see.
You can feel when something bad is about to happen. People swear these things appear out of thin air, but there are always signs, if you know where to look. I often see what others miss. Things most are never meant to see. So is the nature of my curse.
Wait a minute. So maybe I was right, because I made a joke before about how Lillian's tea in the Ripazines is like a better Dokemon card explanation for like stuff that's going on. But maybe that's how like her powers work. Like, she just knows stuff about the world that she shouldn't know, but like she knows.
I love pain. It makes me stronger. The worse the pain, the greater the suffering, the stronger I become. Whereas others live their lives avoiding pain and suffering at all costs, I turn to it. I welcome strength, no matter what the cost. Every ending is also a beginning. From death comes a new life. Before Michael Copper, before Flores Park, I rose to power. A power that was my birthright. It is not my fault. Sometimes bad things happen around me, and I do not know why. But sometimes very bad things happen. I wish I could control it, but I can't. I just know when something bad is about to happen. And I've got that feeling again. Something bad is about to happen. Very bad. All I need to do is give it one little push. I am Lillian Ronashi. Welcome to my world.
All right, so this is the first book that like has me like really excited for it. Aside from the fact that Lillian is actually my favorite character from the Rippaverse, and I've talked about this before. I just liked her concept and design, even though they don't really explain what her powers do. I'm starting to theorize that the title, the subtitle, The Cursed, is part of whatever story set that's going on in Bloodroof, or how like there's people that's cursed throughout the millennia, and you can't kill them, otherwise bad things happen. I wonder if she's like one of those type of people that's like one of these cursed beings walking the earth. But yeah, they got me with a Lillian book. They got me. Like I'm sold on it. And I'm hoping Jen is the better writer.
Well, I have a special surprise for you fans. We're going solo. We are writing our own books. And my book will be starring none other than Lillian Ronashi, the ultimate Japanese femme fatale. Who is she and what does she want? Well, I know you're dying to know, and I'm dying to tell you. If you're a fan of Japanese horror, especially the great Junji Ito.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, all these books, there's too many books where information should have just been provided early on. Like the Great War should have been something that should have been already explained. But now they're scrambling to try to fill in their universe to make it more expansive. And the problem is now you gotta have like so many books out that's just gonna flood the market, their fan base for it. And I don't know how well received a lot of these books are. Like I don't care for Michael Copper like at all, the character. But because he's attached to the hip to Lillian, I have to like take him as like a package deal. So I don't know if I'm even going to buy the Copper book that the other Sylvia person is about to announce, but I'm buying Jen's book definitely for it.
So you are absolutely going to love this book. It is a mature horror novel. It has extreme.
Now, here's something interesting. Like I looked at this artwork right here, and this guy's eyes glowing green. So I wonder if Copper's abilities is something similar to that psychic guy that makes you do whatever he wants you to do when he says it to you. I wonder if he has like a power of persuasion if he just looks at you or something.
And disturbing situations in it. It is a sci-fi body horror thriller, and Andrew's in the room. I don't know if I can say very much more, but what I can tell you is it's better than Sylph's. So much. Like, don't even bother buying Sylph's book. I don't even know if it fits into the continuity of the universe, to be honest. Lillian is going to grab you by the censored word and not let go in a good way. Just remember your safe word.
Oh, be honest. We all have things in life that we want, things that we desire. You only get one life. Why deny yourself pleasure? It could all be gone in an instant. Your life snuffed out. And where did all that self-sacrifice land you? We all die, but so few truly live. I can see what you want. I know how far you're willing to go to make it happen. I can make it happen for you. I can make your wildest dreams come true. Hell, I can even make you a star, if you're willing to do the work. Why not guarantee your success with a deal with me? I have a very exclusive club, you might say, and growing numbers every day. You'd be amazed by who is one part of us. You should join us. Why don't we make a deal? I have a contract right here. You'll be very glad that you did. This is going to change your life. And after I'm done with you, nothing will ever be the same again. Welcome to the Black Eye Club.
I like the cover, but I'm still like, I'm not sold on this character, but I'll get him just because he's connected to the hip to Lillian. Like, I'll give this a chance. It's just interesting they're trying to explore the lore of everybody now, and they're trying to actually give it like a serious attempt.
So now that you heard about that girly stuff that Jen's up to, let's get to the good stuff with Michael Copper. Boom. Everybody loves a bad boy. For those literary fans in the Rippaverse, if you are a fan of Chuck Palahniuk or Bret Easton Ellis, you are gonna love Michael when him and his fancy suits get out into town and really let loose, you know, in a Michael Copper way. There's babes, there's a lot of fighting. There might be even a little dirtiness from Hollywood. Not that I would have seen any of that and put it in the script.
Somebody call 911!
What exactly did she mean by that? Like, she talking about Weinstein stuff? Like, come on.
And buy a couple of gems just for niceness, but buy like 2 of Michael's.
But don't buy any of those. Just buy Lillian. You don't need Michael. You don't need him, honestly.
Okay, so we're kind of competitive. Don't buy her book, buy my book.
But y'all read Alpha Core, right? Michael Copper is useless. Lillian Renashi, she gets poo-poo done.
He was holding back. You read Michael Copper and you're like, whoa, this boy.
All right, well, here's the problem with it. I agree with Jen. Copper was a moron in Alpha Core. So for Sylvia to say, nah, actually, for real, Copper is actually really smart, but he was just going easy mode in that book. Now, that doesn't make any sense. So, like, you better make it legit. You better make it convincing that he was just holding back. Because Lillian was the MVP of that book.
Whoa, that's what I said. Whoa, right? I saw Jen reading and she was like, whoa. And then
I was like, not.
She was crying. She's like, oh, she wrote better comic books. I did not. That's exactly what she did. She was like, for like an hour, and I was like, Jen, it's okay.
That never happened.
Your comic's all right.
I think she's remembering when she was crying because Lillian was so good.
Ahora, chicas. Vámonos. Arriba. I guess my Tex-Mex old boy Spanglish got through to them.
Yeah, like it in the book of Alpha Core, like he didn't even if it felt like he didn't take anything seriously. The problem with that is that his Dokemon card and his website explanation mentioned that he's like the smarter of the two. So his plans always worked out. And Lillian was the one that was always having plans that never really worked out. But it was incorrect because like the roles were reversed. Alpha Core, she was the one that had all the plans that ended up working. So I don't understand what they're trying to do with like this dynamic where Copper is all of a sudden like he was just not trying. Like it doesn't make any sense.
Or maybe they were just running from the crazy dude in the mask. Probably a couple million in fentanyl here. Anyway, it won't be going to Flores Park.
All right. All right. Let's talk about this for a second. For some reason, this character has become literally the face of the Rippaverse. I don't know why they put all their chips on this character, but somehow the Horseman became like the Rippaverse book, to the point now where we're like, it's not just only getting a second book, but now the book is an ongoing series with a new #1. So why didn't they just call the Horseman Welcome to the Floor Spark just issue 0, or just not give it a subtext, just call it the Horseman #1? Like, they had enough time to change course for it. So now when like a reader picks up Welcome to Floor Spark and they see Horseman #1, well, how are they gonna find out which one is the one that you need to read first? It's just funny that this became an ongoing book. Like, for some reason, the joke character name, that even though they're not putting the Horseman, not Horseman, the Horseman, for some reason that Eric just can't get it right. He can get it right over here. You can't get it right over here. The Horseman, Horseman. Ongoing series. Okay, sure.
Hey, thanks to your enthusiastic reactions of the Horseman, we're already
It didn't even say the Horseman bound down there. It just says Horseman.
working on Horseman #1. The script, and Joe started on the pages. Stuff looks fantastic. I think you're going to have a lot of surprises in store. You may think you know what the Horseman's about, but you really don't. And you're going to find out more and more about the Horseman and his world.
What are you talking about, Chuck? We find out exactly what the Horseman is about in his book. We find out that he's not really a hero. He's a freaking criminal. And he steals from the people that he's killing. And at the end of the book, he doesn't even stay the Horseman. He gets his name from Brian, and then he goes, all right, yeah, stop being the Horseman now. Some hero, right?
I'm not fond of Parlay and his gang, but his information is useful. I assume that he'll become a problem eventually.
Big titties.
But he's not the big threat. The recent moves have
bigger titties.
Little to do with Parlay's gang. Mondo may...
I'm sorry, my guy. I'm sorry. I forgot, but yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, there's going to be some spoilers. I'm sorry, guys.
Is playing the long game. Parlay's territory...
These titties are way too big.
It has the largest school district in Flores Park. They're not looking for war. These scumbags want recruits. Young, naive boys and
they're not so big here.
Girls. I'm not under...
They're way too big here.
Any delusions? I can't bring down an entire gang
she has none.
By myself. But a little push here, and a little shove there. Perhaps I can at least make something shake. Turmoil can be good business, but the little ones...
where's her head at?
Deserve a shot. They prey on them to secure a future. Yesterday's youth are tomorrow's adults. I've got to find a way to disrupt this.
All right. This is a good idea. You got a femme fatale, big-breasted, beautiful-looking, sexy, ongoing series. Something that the River doesn't have yet, other than, I guess, Yaira, if you wanted to consider that. But no, I think this is a good idea to have a character like this as an ongoing series. And it's interesting that she's an ongoing series, but Salvage is not. And then he finally got Kanan to actually do sequentials on like this on a book. So now he's doing interiors. That's great. Eric writing this book, I'm still skeptical. When I read this in Ripazine 2, I felt as if the writing was better, way better than what Eric should be writing at. And I almost am skeptical to think that he actually wrote it himself. But if he's actually leveled up, quote unquote, with Chuck Dixon's help, then yeah, sure. The only problem with this book was that he did 16 pages when he could have just finished the book as a one-shot for 22 pages. So all he had to do was just do 8 more pages, and he could have had a complete one-shot story to see if people really wanted this book. But the fact that he's making an ongoing series, I don't know. I don't know what metrics he's using for it, but I think it's the same thing. Like someone whispering in his ear, "Eric, you got a real winner on your hands. It's a big-breasted, sexy spy that shoots people and kills them." Okay, sure. Well, see, the thing is, like, the magazines should be the monthly issues. These should be monthly issues. Like, he should just make the Ripazine monthly books that come out, and then he should just have the stories just be 22 pages in them. Then he should just collect them when he's finished whatever story arc for him. But that's just too complicated for him. He just has to like power through and just make everything a graphic novel.
So Ripazine number 2 unexpectedly did better than Ripazine number 1. I think a lot of that had to do with.
All right, so Eric, what's the reason for that? So Ripazine number 2 did better, but how come Isom number 2 didn't do better than Isom number 1? Food for thought.
Of course, with the team that was on that story, it wasn't just myself, because there were a lot of people that wanted sequential art coming from our art director, Kanan White. It was just highly, highly anticipated once people got a glimpse at that character. So Ripazine issue number 2 just absolutely took off. So while I'm trying to plan for Salvage's book, I had this other problem, which is a good problem to have, and that I had another character that a lot of people wanted. So I had to get started kind of kicking some ideas around. Now, I had most of the story already written as far as the layout, but now we're starting to do something in a different format, of course, than what we're doing with Salvage, because Salvage will be just more or less this a traditional sort of graphic novel. This is going to be an ongoing series with Saoirse number 1.
All right. Salvage is a traditional graphic novel, but Saoirse could be a traditional graphic novel. He wrote it that way. So he's writing. The problem is he's writing these graphic novels, at least Isom. He's writing his stuff as if they're oversized comic book issues, when he should just write normal sized comic book issues and then collect all the arcs into one book.
Now, as you've probably heard me already talk about, I nerd out about the detective stuff, but all detectives aren't equal, right? They have different things that motivate them. They approach things in a different style. And I really wanted to capture that esque of sort of that film fatale and being a private investigator, not necessarily just a spy of some sort, but a legitimate private investigator that's taking on some really, really crazy cases.
What is he talking about? A legitimate private investigator? That's what all private investigators are. They're legitimate private eyes.
And she's different from Salvage. So they're both private investigators. They have that LF certification, but they're not the same. And it's not just as simple as her utilizing her beauty.
Really? Because that was the entire point of this issue. Like, she used her beauty to get in.
To kind of navigate this world of Florist Park, really, in being an LF certified person. It's not just that, because with Salvage, he takes on certain types of things. And if you've read the book, you know with Ripazine issue number 2, he doesn't just take on any sort of gig.
Yeah, when I read Ripazine number 2, you know, the one that has Salvage in it, Ripazine number 2, when he took on stuff in Ripazine number 2.
Special types of gigs that he has to deal with. You know, Saoirse, she's left.
Not Ripazine number 1, you freaking moron.
With these very, very dangerous gigs, and she's getting involved in this story with Mondo Mason, and really can't wait for people to see how that's going to play out. Kanan's artwork on this is amazing. My good friend, and of course our concept artist, and Marcos, he helped design the character. Kanan had just a little bit of input there as well, and that's his gal. So when I approached him with, hey, this thing blew up, we got to do something longer form, like before I could even finish my sentence, he was ready to get some more work done. So I'm really stoked to be working with him. I think we kind of have this dynamic duo, this tandem working together on projects like this. And in Saoirse, I think for years to come, this is going to be a character that a lot of people love, a lot of people gravitate towards, and yeah, they're just going to thoroughly enjoy it. It is a fun story, but it is a story that's meant to sort of make you think. She's navigating Flores Park. Yes, an affluent city, but there's different sides of it.
Affluent city.
You got the Upper East that we've talked about, Upper West. Flores Park is a big city state. So there's a lot of things that we get to entertain in that sort of underground and the underworld in which she's operating. It's such a fun thing to do, fun story to tell. And of course, Caden just has a way of really adapting the story and capturing the essence of who I wanted Saoirse to be. And I just can't wait for you guys to read this ongoing series, starting, of course, with Saoirse #1, which will be dropping in 2025.
You know, the word empire is used very loosely. People just associate it with wealth and power. What exactly is it? At what point does an enterprise become an empire? An empire is a state of existence. That's because it isn't about mere wealth and power. It's about control and respect. It never stops being built. But you know when it begins to crumble. My history with them gives us a bit of an advantage, doesn't it? I'm sending a memo with all the details of this man and what I expect from you all. You'll immediately realize certain things ain't.
Is this a new coloring? I can't tell.
Off limits.
Well, look, guys, I guess he still has the ISOM trademark. You can still call his book ISOM. But you know what's really wrong with this image right here? Is that this cover looks great. And you know that Kanan White drew this. But it doesn't look anywhere near as good from the interiors of Cliff Richards drawing it.
I mean, this is our flagship hero. It's a personal.
Wait a minute, Isom's your flagship hero? Because I could have sworn you said there was no real flagship character for the Rippaverse.
Character, you know who he's named after. Again, it being the first character that really had this responsibility for putting over these other characters as well that you guys have come to love. There's been a massive demand for ISOM, and ISOM #3 is really special. If you read ISOM 1 and 2, there's a lot going on, a lot that's hanging above Avery's head. He has this Darren Fontano situation.
Wait a minute, hold up.
Guys have come to love. There's been a massive demand for ISOM.
Let me see if those 3D asses are still in this one. This might be the remaster.
Really special. If you read ISOM 1 and 2, there's a lot going on.
Nope, still there. Outside Jim.
A lot that's hanging above Avery's head. He has this Darren Fontano situation to worry about. He helped rescue Sam, who has his own things going on with Bloodruth. And it's just so many different avenues and paths. And now we get to bring everything together in this final issue of this arc, the first ever arc for ISOM, with this ill-advised arc with ISOM #3, and I just cannot wait for people to read it. You know, Darren Fontano is an interesting case, right? He's not just some crime lord in this big city. You know,
he is a crime lord in this big city.
There's a connection to Avery in terms of his past, so that gives him an advantage like no other.
What advantage does he have? Because he didn't realize he was an except. Oh, wait a minute. Look, they fixed it. There isn't that what was that? That glass display here holding the drinks on the window. They fixed that. I can't tell if they fixed the chairs right here, but they did at least fix this, so that's interesting.
And because he's having to deal with the dynamic of maintaining that status that he has, and Isom sort of threatened it, he's got to deal with that. And he recognizes that he absolutely has to address that. However, there's a lot that both don't know about the other, which is it's going to make for some really interesting stories that we're going to be telling in this massive book in Isom #3. Cliff Richards being the first artist that people got to see as far as his interior work. You know, he's taking it up to another level, and that was something that he really wanted to do. You know, we had the help of our art director and Kanan White that kind of came along after the fact and really wanted to elevate. That was his goal, to really elevate every artist that we have here. And some of you guys got to see some of his newer work in that remaster, which is in the Rippaverse Trinity, volume #1. And you could see how he's cleaned some things up. He's enhanced some different things, and he's taken all of what he's learned along the way, obviously, and now he really, really does understand this character in Isom with Isom #3. So to me, and yeah, you may can say this is easy for me to say, but I actually believe this is some of Cliff's best work ever.
Tell me he didn't just say that.
It is so good, so good. And of course, we have our new colorist in Sebastian Chang, and he even elevates it even more. So the both of those guys as a tandem really make for some fun storytelling here with Isom #3. And because we have a lot of the story to wrap up to close out this particular arc, it's a big book, guys. I mean, Isom 2 was bigger than Isom 1. Isom 3 is bigger than Isom #2. There's just so much of the story that we really needed to tell to finish out this arc, and we wanted to take our time. That's the awesome thing about the format that we had released with this, and that we could tell whatever story we wanted, and we weren't being rushed. None of the creators were being rushed. And while I do know, and I'm very aware of that demand where so many people like, look, man, where is the next Isom? I'm waiting for it. Trust me, it's going to be well worth the wait. You're going to get a great story.
Look at this. Like, this looks great. Like Kanan should be the interior artist Isom. Like, I don't understand why this is like a hard thing for Eric to understand. Like, you can't have your book look like this from the covers, and then you open up the pages and it's Cliff Richards art. It doesn't make any sense.
Of course, I feel really good about it. I feel like this is some of my best work, and also Cliff's best work as well. And it is a satisfying conclusion to this first arc, but it's also, I think, going to leave you with some questions as well, and you're going to be stoked about Isom going into the future, or at minimum, you're going to be curious about it. So Isom 3 coming out finally in 2025. Myself, Cliff Richards, Sebastian Chang. Man, I know you guys are going to love this story just as much as I love creating them for you all, and that support that you guys gave it and have given Isom, this brand new, fresh character. He's only 2 years in, and you supported him the way that you have. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to all of us in the Rippaverse, and that's why we wanted to write the absolute best story that we could with Isom #3.
Wilkins, the entire time you were one of us. You did what many of us refused to do. Your courage, your sacrifice will not go unavenged. I wish we had more time to mourn. But the city-state is on our ass. With the Eagle's Nest crashing, our enemies predictably pounced on the opportunity. Now, even the civilians of the city-state are questioning our existence. We're in trouble.
Alpha Course has been the only book that I've liked out of the entire line. It's the only book that I would actually continue reading after I stopped buying everything else from it.
And if all of that is not enough for you, Alpha Core 2 is on its way. I've begun writing it. It's the continuing adventures of Brian, Ingrid, and Braxwell. It deals with the consequences of all the actions, all the stuff that happened in Alpha Core 1 and the destruction of the city. A lot of people are blaming Alpha Core. So Alpha Core has a lot to make up for with the citizens of Forest Park and their own fellow police officers. In addition to that, I create a brand new villain, and it's going to blow your mind. Let me tell you, I'm really excited about this opportunity to be a part of what is basically a comic book movement in the Rippaverse.
Chuck, lay off the sweets, my guy.
Fans are great. My fellow creators, like Mike Barron and the Saskas, and the terrific crew here at the Rippaverse, and of course Eric, driving the bus. We're doing great stuff here, and I hope you're enjoying it as much as we are.
That'll wrap it up for our first.
Wait a minute, I'm in my sweatshirt again. Did it just get cold in the dark warehouse? What's going on here?
Ever Rippaveal showcase. In the future, we'll announce some of the artists and the surrounding team for their upcoming projects.
Why can't you just announce the teams when you announce the books? Like, why are you keeping it a secret? There's no reason for it.
There's still other works that we plan to put out this upcoming year, such as more Rippazines, and perhaps those will make it to the next showcase.
Something's going on with his gums. Like, it just looks so bloody red inside.
We thank you all and appreciate you so much for being customers of the Rippaverse. We do this all for you, and we'll keep working to become a more efficient publisher and make improvements wherever possible. Let's be great in 2025.
All right, so initial thoughts. There were some things that I like that it was announced, and I like the fact that they are trying to take this seriously by being like a legit company going 2025 by having more releases come out in a faster state. But I don't know. There's still some questionable things, like why are certain books ongoing versus some books are just limited series? Who told Eric that this book is a better idea as an ongoing versus this is a limited or a one shot? If for something, for example, like Norfolk is supposed to be like really like popular, fan requested, why is that a limited series? I don't know. There's a lot of questions, but there are some things I was surprised about that they got announced, like the Saska Sisters single books. I already knew about the Great War. I already knew it is a 2-part book, but I don't understand why Chuck is writing unless I just remember that interview incorrectly. But I could have sworn Mike was the one that was supposed to be writing that book. I know they did like a after this Rippaverse Rippaveal thing, they did like a fan meetup thing, like a, I don't know what they're called, but they're on X where they talk. They go in like a chat room and then they talk. I don't think I'm going to listen to that because I want to get prepared for tomorrow for me going through all the Sturgis videos. And I just don't feel like there's nothing else really to say. Like there's a lot that I liked about this Rippaveal. I like that they're trying to make this like a legitimate thing and trying to improve. Hopefully it works out. I'm still skeptical. I don't think a lot of these books are going to pan out like Zaylin. Who cares? But other than that, thanks guys for joining. I just wanted to do like a quick test stream just to see how everything worked, and hopefully it went fine on your end. And then we'll do this again tomorrow for Sturgis Watch. I think it's going to be doing that around 1 p.m. tomorrow. All right, guys. So have a good night. I'm going to end you out now, and I'll see you guys later.
Oh my God! The PTA has disbanded!
No, the PTA has not disbanded.
To me, it look like a leprechaun to me. All you gotta do is look up in the tree. Who else in the leprechaun say yeah? I wanna know where to go. I wanna know where to go. Give me the go. I